Alright, all calibrations check. Let's lock and load. Welcome to the Quantum Cafe and Interstellar Lounge with your host here, the Cosmic Messenger, a wild child who today is choosing to unleash the wild side. Got this beautiful headpiece on, and what that helps represent is my topic of today, which is the animal kingdom, animal spirit guides in particular, nature, and elementals. I don't know if anybody out there has, during their awakening experiences or throughout their adventures on Earth, spent some time researching and looking up. You know, do a little type in, find a fantastical book or the whole bit, right? And then check out what that animal means. So when you have an encounter, you're out there in the field. Ooh, the rabbit just ran by. Ooh, I encountered a deer. But I keep seeing that deer at the most interesting, bizarre times. It's a synchronicity. It's an illuminated enlightenment. Coming for you, the animals and the elementals, the beings that live inside of all the rocks, plants, and minerals, living all in the second dimension. They are here for us. They help us grow, and they teach us many multidimensional wisdoms, and they provide insights and all sorts of knowledge and information for us. Even the very pets, the beings that we allow into our home, those as well carry divine wisdom. So, you got the elementals that live, the spirit world. People talk about the fae, the fairies, the little people, all of those fantastical creatures that operate just out of this dimension, right? In the fourth and sixth dimensions. They hold on to the codes and keep nature alive and active. There is not one single thing that is static. There is not one, you go out in nature, the wood, the rocks, the hill, it's alive. Through my eyes, my whole life, in this body, in this incarnational life form, I've been able to see the energy, the particles pop up in every living thing. So when I look at stuff, nothing's really static. It's still holding form, and I recognize it like you do too. But there's a whole nother element that plays out within it. And that lets me know that everything is hyper alive, right? And by the way, if you have any wild side of you, hence the hat I'm wearing and the wild gear that I sport, if you have anything that you want to bring up into your field, into your energy, into your multiverse in your life, let it out. These are the times. Okay? A little piece of encouragement. To just be who you truly want to be, whatever that is to you. Now, I do multidimensional Reiki sessions and also some group healings as well. And when I'm working with clients or other practitioners, what I find is, especially after really going through a big energy portion of the awakening, right, which is a large piece of it, I found that animal spirits were coming through almost every single session that I had. In the visualizations, they'd come up onto the table, move around the person, animate, provide, and offer gifts, sometimes linked up with other messages, right? They might be holding numerology in their mouth. They got a card and they want to hand it to the person. It's amazing stuff. And I'm still in this zone, but for the first 5 or 6 years that I went through my major awakening process, right, which kind of, interesting enough, started its very first sparks in 2012, somewhere within that year after we passed that mark, right? And I found that the animals and what they were speaking and the wisdom that they were providing came to me, and more in solo form. Like sometimes I would see packs, but it would just be like a singular wildlife, singular creature would come to me and provide a message in the most like wildest times. Before I moved out here to Vancouver Island, I lived in the middle of Canada in Saskatchewan. And during that time, when I was just about to move here, and I had already I started the catalyst for my awakening process. And I was deep into it. Little did I know there was a second wave of the dark night of the soul. But I was working at 6 in the morning, okay? That was my shift. Started at 6 a.m. It was dark out. It was, a few months before I was moving here, early in the morning, right? Late winter. And I'm driving down the street, and in Regina, where I'm from, you do not see an owl very often, right? Inside the city. And the owl came down, landed on the pole. There's no traffic at that point. I'm taking side streets, everything's just quiet, and it's looking right at me. And it just turns its head as I drive by, and I slow down, no cars, right? And kept driving, and it just pinned there in my vision. And I went home, and I didn't even know what the owl at that point symbolized. Then I find out that it's the death of everything that you've had and occurred. It is a portion of its wisdom. And I'm moving and transporting my whole life over to Vancouver Island for the first time ever, because I had been in Saskatchewan for basically, at that point, 36 years. And I hadn't lived anywhere else except for a couple summers working on a campground in the mountains. Another experience I had when I was moved out here, Raven came up for somebody as their medicine, which is interesting because I'm going to get to something later on that. And after sharing that with that person, for the entire week, everybody who came to the till at their work, a book that was presented to them, the person's name, it was just Raven, 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 right? What the heck? So the time is to not discount the value, the wisdoms, and the magical insights that all of nature provides, from the smallest insect to a cat that lives in your home. They are divine spirit guides, and they're in incarnational and disincarnational form to teach, help, and grow. It is a co-creation, but the wisdom is amazing. There's not one animal right now that you probably can't go online and find a report of channeled information of what they're showing us. Now, as far as the elementals go, and communicating with them, as well as with animals, go out to nature if you're really wanting to do this, and sit with the trees. Put your hand on them. Slow down, wait. Let the information come through you. Ask for it to come through you. Try once, try twice, try 3 times, try a few dozen times. Look at the plant, communicate with it, feel what the land is telling you. Let those messages come through your throat chakra. Let them come in through your higher crown, downloading all of those insights into you. And if you see something out of the corner of your eye, or a mass shift and move, which I see quite frequently, and then it'll shrink and poof. Orbs, all that stuff. The electricalness coming off of the plants. The ground, the essence, the earth, the clay, the minerals. It's all speaking to us, but they all have alive guardians. And they're here for a purpose. Spirit brings that to us and with us, so they can work with us, watch over of us, and also hold the universal laws into place. Amazing stuff. I'm going to also read a passage to you pretty soon. This one's not full-on animal, but one of my favorite oracle decks. Again, the reversal, not sure. Denise Lynn, Nature Spirit. Now it taps us into nature from an Aboriginal perspective, particularly the North American one, but they're all connected. And by pulling a card, it gives you an activity at the end of the write-up, and it gets you back in touch with nature, with the true spirit. Those are good ones. So they give you little missions along the way to do. Now this year is huge. As we were talking before, Raven. This is the year of Raven energy for the entire year. So we have Llewellyn's Little Book of Spirit Animals. More than one tool to check out what's going on. So, Year of the Raven, and let's just say, Raven popped up in your life, right? I had one, and it was the first conscious Raven that I ever saw. After I moved here, I worked a few jobs, moved to Vancouver Island, and I didn't know really, where am I going to go to work? I went back to a previous area of work that I had done before. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go back into the field I was in before. Anyhow, the place that I worked, its location, you go to Indigo Street, your third eye, and then you turn onto Prairie Street. I'm from the prairies. So, I have a few months of experience working at the new home. Then all of a sudden, maybe about 3 to 6 months in, just before I turned off Indigo onto Prairie, giant Raven. Standing in the middle of the road, looking right at me, humongous. I get an ear tone. My vibration changed. And I knew there was messages waiting. So I went and read up about the Raven. This is the year of Raven energy. So let's get into it. And remember, with the animals, you also have the elements and the primary colors. So we're working with black. And the element is air. Right? The birds, they fly around, get the viewpoints. So here we go. Raven symbolizes speaking up for yourself, learning new skills, and studying metaphysical topics. Well, how appropriate was it when I saw it that day, right? Amazing stuff. And for anybody else who's tapped into these medicines, this is just fantastic. This is one animal out of the infinite beings that exist in the multiverse. Okay. Raven's intelligence makes learning fun, and you'll retain the knowledge faster. You call in Raven. You call in caribou. You call in rabbit. You call in chameleon, seahorse, and you bring them into your field and ask for them to work with you on a continuous, regular basis so that you know that Spirit's listening and they know you're taking it serious. Raven means there's a situation coming your way where you'll need to voice your feelings instead of holding your tongue. Interesting. Every time I read these, it's almost like I had never read them before. Raven means to be aware of the meanings of dreams and visions. Visualizations. Those are ways that we connect into the field, right? We resonate with the wildlife that comes to us. While Raven has often been thought to be a dark messenger that foretells death, seeing Raven can be a warning sign, meaning death. But death comes in so many different forms, right? So when you think of it that way, the death is a rebirth, a transmutation, an alchemical movement into a new area, a new being. You're going to reincarnate again, right? It's awesome stuff. Perhaps just a complete new beginning. Stopping doing something and starting something else. Alpha and Omega. There may be someone who doesn't have your best interest at heart, right? Or who might betray you or try to deceive you in some way. Or if Raven appears, keep these things in mind. Watch what you say and stay alert to any changes in people's actions or words. And we always wonder too, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, you can't predict the future, but you can definitely pay attention to nature and to the environment around you and yourself to get clues and key codes of what the next epic step can be. It's all for a purpose. It's all beautiful. Raven has often been referred to as the keeper of secrets, the photonic key codes, which means you've got a secret you must keep either for yourself or for someone else, and it's a doozy. And if you are entrusted to hold on to something until the other person or yourself is wanting to share that on your own, or just have a safe container to do so, Raven's a great place to talk with, talk to, and intercommunicate with, right? Through all dimensional planes. And it's also good to hold on to those secrets, I guess we can call them, but it's hold on to them. Because if that being trusted you, then you don't need to be sharing that with somebody else. Raven, unless it's going to cause massive harm to the person. But it's their choice and it's their reality. Raven has often been referred to as a keeper of secrets. Here we go. Keep it safe and secure inside you. Raven is metaphysical and symbolizes reaching through the darkness. Coming up, right? We're going to uproot. We're going to get plutonic. We're going to get scorpionic. Through the darkness to find and resolve your inner conflicts inside of you. The change, the transmutation, the Aquarian output. And then letting your light shine bright. It's healing oneself from within. You can have all the healers in the world. They assist you. They are catalysts. But you are the one who performs the healing. So the next time that you encounter some animals and some wildlife, take a moment to breathe and to pulsate with them and to really look deeper into their souls. They are beautiful, amazing creatures that provide galactic cosmic wisdom, and at one point in your soul's evolution, you might have been one too. And the elementals and the characters that are dancing, whether you see them at night during the day, the ones that are watching over all of the plants in the mineral kingdom, are very special too as well, and perhaps you may have encountered a few of them in your life. Beautiful cosmic trails to everyone out there. Thanks for listening. Have a beautiful day.